total number of terms. And the second issue is, what about consecutive terms? So Councilman Gay was saying, oh, well, 2 terms and then, but you could come back again. So
After you
is
sit
there,
out one.
Hold on, let him finish. Go ahead.
so all I'm saying is, do we have any reason to say the total number of terms overall time is limited? I don't think so, but I that's an easy way to address the problem. Then the next question is, okay, if you don't care, then how, the second issue, how many consecutive terms?
I think you're right on both points. So
My-
Councilman
my-
Gay, I think you were saying that
my-
2
my
consecutive
initial-
terms, but no cap on.
No cap. That was
No
my
cap.
initial concern, initial thought. No cap on consecutive terms, but set out one.
I think we're
You
all
mean
about,
no
wait,
cap
wait,
on total
You
terms?
can have total terms. You could have 2 consecutive terms, but you would not be permitted to run for a 3rd consecutive term. But there would be no limit as to the number of terms that you could ultimately serve.
I think that's what we're all saying.
Councilman
I
Taylor?
was thinking,
Oh,
I was thinking 3, Mayor.
I was thinking 3 as well, but
I just like how Atlanta does it and some of the other cities. It just seems 8 years is a long time to be on council. There's so many other people that can serve and bring a lot to the table. I'm gonna stick with 2.
Councilman Taylor, what are your thoughts?
I think it should stay the way it is. I think the people could vote and get you out in 4 years or 8 years or whatever. I think that should be a decision of the voters. Cause I just feel like, if a person is doing pretty good for 8 years and they got to sit out, someone could just sit back and say, well, his 8 years up and know nothing about the city, don't even want to be in the city, and just can run just because that person can't be there. I think that we should let the voters decide, when you need to step down and stuff like that. That's what I think. So I'm against. I'm not for a term limit.
Okay. All right. So we've got Councilman Gay at 2, Councilman Clay at 3. I'm sorry, Councilman Allen, go right ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I'm for term limits. I think we need to clarify, term limits for anywhere in the city. I mean, if I run 2 times here and get elected, and could I move over to another ward and run there? So we just need to clarify that.
No.
But I just think 2 is the limit. You sit out a year and then, 2 more, people are not going to serve. I don't think that's a long time to serve. So
It is. The other concern is that incumbents present an unfair advantage. I'll give you an example. Say you have an incumbent that go and pave all its streets. It's hard for someone who can serve, have the ability to bring real value to this body, but the people it's just incumbent have too much undue influence over the voters. And we need to make the process fairer.
So if someone, under this proposal, and I'm not trying to pick on you, Councilman Gay, but you just won re-election. Congratulations. You've served this will be your second full term, correct?
Yes.
So under this, starting January 1st of 22. So if this were adopted, would you then be prohibited from, would you envision that you'd be prohibited from running for another term?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Denmark, can we do that? Because his prior term is one that happened before we would make this change to the charter. So
yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that. I think so. I'd have to look at it though. I mean, obviously we would have to create term limits in a way that does not compromise the rights of current office holders. And so we'd have to be mindful of that, and not just our intuitive sense of fairness, but rather
Right.
what the law says we can and cannot do.
Sure. So I think there's a couple of questions that we need to come up with or to answer in this regard. It sounds like there is consensus from the body that, and Councilman Allen, you were in favor of 2 or 3 terms. I'm sorry. 2. Okay. So we got Councilman Gay and Councilman Allen in favor of 2 terms, Councilman Gay in favor of, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Councilman Gay
3.
and Councilman Allen in favor of 2 terms, 2 consecutive terms being the max before you have to sit one out. Councilman Clay in favor of 3 terms before you have to sit one out. And
Correct.
Councilman Taylor not in favor of term limits at all. It does sound like we've got consensus to move forward on getting some local legislation for term limits. And it sounds like 2 consecutive terms is the way to go. In terms of addressing sitting office holders, we're going to have to explore that a little bit more. And also, am I forgetting anything? Okay. All right. So let's see if we can, and also we're going to try to clean up the remainder of Section 5 as well with this local legislation, so we can just have it actually align with state law. So
Good.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
It's
Well,
okay with
that was the only thing that we've got. I mean, that's the conclusion of our workshop session. So I'll see everybody in 52 minutes at 7:30. Thanks so much.